Welcome everybody, my name is Chrissy, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a prediction reading for the 29th of March. Now I've got my doggos here. I'm about to take them out into the bush, so hopefully they won't disrupt the video too much. I know you guys like my dogs out there. They're both rescue dogs, they're brother and sister. And so I'm just going to see what comes up for the 29th of March. Now, I'll just block it. Hopefully they'll settle down. Now, I'm getting that the leaders have been veered off their path. So this is a good thing. The leaders have actually had to take a different route. So they know their agenda was rolling out so beautifully and so perfectly, but suddenly they got veered off their path and they had to look at taking another route. So I feel like there's been this big regroup of the decisions and the agendas and the things that they're trying to implement now, because they can't just keep going in the direction that they were, because people are now standing up. This is Sprocket, by the way. People are standing up against this tyranny and dictatorship, and they don't want it in their lives. People have had enough of being told what to do, which for the last 2 years we have been pretty much dictated to, and people are tired of it. They're exhausted. They just want their freedoms back. They want their lives back. You know, they want to get back to the things that bring them joy and happiness. Mine is my dogs, obviously. So this is what I'm getting. I'm getting that. Oh, he's a good boy, aren't you? I'm getting that the freedom fighters and the light workers and the people who are now standing up to this tyranny have created this. It's almost that the pushback that they created has pushed people, the leaders off their path. And that's what we wanted. We wanted to push the leaders off their path because they just had it so easy with using their mass psychosis and the things they implemented, that now we finally pushed them off their path. And I do believe that they're regrouping, and they're looking at ways that they can now start to continue with their agenda. And like I said in my April reading, that we're going to get a lot now about the financial. I think we can all see that that's happening anyway, and the collapses and the things that are going to start to be implemented moving forward. But that's what's happened. Our mass movement, which I call the blob, if anyone's watched that video of the blob the other week that I made, that video is about this blob that's rolling along, and that's us. That's the freedom fighters and the people standing up to mandates and all this kind of fight back from vaccine injured. That's the blob. We're pushing back, and it's causing these leaders to get off their course. So they're having to regroup all the time and come up with new solutions to implement their agenda. And that's not easy, because they had it all rolling out to perfection, using all the media, using the tools, using the mass psychosis, using all the things that they had in their toolkit, but it's been knocked off its course. And that's a great message to hear today, is that we've knocked them off their course. I'll just see what else comes through. I'm just gonna have a quick sip of coffee for anyone out there. I know some of you guys have your morning coffee with me, and I love chatting to you and hearing that, so I'm gonna have a bit of mine as well. Oh, Sprocket. It's like the heart starter, isn't it, in the morning? I'll just see what other messages we get today for the 29th of March. Gosh, the year's really rolling along, isn't it? So I'm still getting the capitals. So I'm getting that these things are going to roll out from the capitals. So I feel like they're going to be looking at the capital cities firstly to implement, and then they're going to move things out to the regional areas. Now, this could be about finance. It could be about transportation. I feel like there's a lot going on around this movement, but it's like it's like filtering out from the capital cities. So this is eventually going to reach all the regional and country areas as well. But there's this, it's a global movement too, but they're going to focus back on the capital cities. And I feel like what the message is that I'm getting is that it's very easy to gain control of capital cities, because you have people en masse. It is very easy to manipulate and control people, because if you think about people who are living on farms or people who are in small rural towns, they live a fairly free and independent life, and that's the life that they choose. That's why they choose to live in the country. I live in the country, in the mountains, and this is what they're saying. It's much easier to get the masses first in the capital cities, and then start to filter and implement things out. So if they can sort of get that energy up in the cities and regain that control, these are the things they're going to work on. So they're going to start implementing. I do believe it's a lot around finances, but I also feel it's sort of a lot around control. So I'm getting a lot around public transport. So for some reason, there's going to be a lot of control in public transport. Now, I don't know where you're living, what it's like in like London or Paris or any places like Germany. He's nearly pushing me off the bed. He's so big. Because transport is a great way to track people. Now, often on public transport, if you think of subways or you think of trains, buses, they often have cameras on them and they also have a ticketing system, which I believe is probably already set up. I don't know, I don't catch public transport, but it's probably already on a digital code. So all your details of where you're traveling, where you're going, what you're doing is already sort of set up. So I feel like moving forward, this is starting to happen in the cities. We're starting to get this digital control happening in the transport systems. Now, I feel like that's a way that they can implement it without being obvious. Like, I don't think they really hide things sometimes anyway, but by using that transporting system, they can start to track and trace. And you know, they're the words that they used when they actually implemented the passports and vaccine code, the scanning codes that we all had to use during COVID. But this is what I'm getting now. They're going to start to implement these things kind of gradually, but it's going to start to filter out, because you've got to remember too, in the rural and regional areas, that we don't all use a lot of public transport. I think we've only got one bus here where I live that just does like the rounds. Let me know where you are, kind of what happens in your regional area. Some places might have rail systems and things like that. But this is how they're going to start it. They're going to start doing this in levels, in stages. So they're not going to bring everything digitally in like bang, here we go. They're going to actually start working their way from the cities out, and they're going to look at the areas that they can do this. Now, I've talked about this before. I think it was in the beginning of the year. They're going to start to implement a lot of cameras. So really, if you put cameras up in the city, no one bats an eyelid, because they just think that's a way of that people are protecting them, and that Big Brother is keeping an eye on you and keeping you safe. But we know that's not the case now. So you've also in these country areas, you're going to see more cameras pop up. You're going to see there's more surveillance. There's going to be a lot more of this kind of ways of gaining that control. Now, I do feel like these elites are looking at other avenues that they can work on. Now, I was talking here about the mosquito virus that came after the floods. We've currently got the floods rebuilding actually coming again. So I don't doubt that they're going to push this mosquito encephalitis, I think it is, vaccine. No one took it up, so they'll probably push that again, because the same towns are being flooded again, sadly, and it only was a few weeks ago, and they're repeating that. So they're going to look at those regional areas, and they're going to, you know, focus on this as well. So these are the kind of things they're having to look at other avenues that they can keep this control going, and it's by the fear, the viruses, the jabs. This is the way they keep that control of the masses. So they're going to start looking at all avenues, and obviously, I don't know about you guys, but here in Australia, we're getting the big push for the flu and getting the flu shot on top of your boosters, which is a lot of injections and jabs, because they're saying now the borders are open, the flu's going all around the world and the globe, which we know the flu was probably already there, I'm guessing. But this is their new narrative on the news, because I watched it the other day just to see where we're up to. And of course, the flu's arrived back in Australia. It's bizarre. And now you can get a flu injection for that. So they're still pushing like this narrative, and the numbers. We're back on the news again here in Australia, saying how the numbers are going up again with the Omicron 3 variant or whatever it is. And it's just push. So, you know, we had the lull period. Now we're having that agenda period again. But it's the pushbacks that created that lull period. And that's what I'm trying to say to you out there. When we're in our blob movement and when we create that large energy and we support and get together, it makes a difference. It pushes back against this tyranny, dictatorships, and this destruction of our lives that we're all fighting back for. So it is making a difference. So keep doing that. That's the message today. Keep standing up. Keep fighting for your freedoms. This ain't over yet. That's the message that I'm getting from the guys. This ain't over yet. This is spilling into the leadership roles. Now, here in Australia, we're waiting for an election in May, so I don't know what's going to come after that. And wherever you are, maybe you're waiting for elections. But yesterday, we got given the message to really watch where we put our votes, because the voting is crucial going forward with our lives and getting those freedoms back. So really put your focus on that and learn how to vote properly. I know a lot of us just go in and sort of tick any box sometimes. I'm guilty of that. I used to do that in the past, not anymore. I actually do my research and I actually work out how to get the independents into Parliament. Now look, I understand some of these things are out of your control. I know in Canada, in some of these countries, gosh, it's very quiet in France. I'm not sure what's happening there with Macron, because we know he's a leader. But in Canada, I know that a lot of these things were taken out from under you. It's like the rug was pulled out from under you. But you have to know that there are people fighting that cause now, and that you're not alone in your fight for this. And there are a lot of people standing up that do have strength and power. So make sure that you put your energy on that as well. I'll just see what else comes up today. Now they're saying that tyranny always comes from government. So tyranny always comes from these high places. So if we look at the balance of all this, we look at like maybe 10 people who are running our countries, who are fighting a massive movement now. Now, I don't think they expected us to rise up to the level that we did, but we have, and we're staying in that position. We're holding our ground. And it does scare them. You need to know out there that this does scare them. And that's why they got veered off their path. And they've had to reassess, try and work out different strategies. You might start to see new commercials and new ads being put on your your mainstream media platforms. And we know how that goes, because everyone's pretty much switching off. I know in America there, you're all switching off CNN and a lot of your channels over there. And that's what you want. You want the ratings to drop, because then they have to look at things and they have to realise that they don't have the majority of the people's votes, and that this is what's kind of going on. There is shift and there is movement. I'm definitely getting that, you know, you're looking at 10 people or so that are governing the whole global world. Like, how is that even possible? So that's why I always talk about supporting each other and getting together and really having that strength in numbers, because it's always about that vibration that pushes things off their course. I'll just see what else comes up. If anyone's wondering why Sophie is always in clothing, she's got a really terrible grass allergy. It's almost like eczema. She has to have tablets all the time, and she goes red raw. So with all the beautiful doggy clothes now, I just buy her clothes. And she's never as itchy, because she loves laying on the grass, of course. So that's Sophie's story. Oh, they're so cute. Like, they really love each other. They lived apart for a long time, and I rescued both of them and brought them back together. And she's like his big sister, because Sprocket's like a big baby. He's like the biggest. My dog whisperer that I work with calls him a chicken in a dog suit. So if you get that image, it's pretty funny, because he scares everybody. But he's actually like a big chicken. I'll just see if there's any closing messages today. All right, they're showing me now the tumble dryer. So it's almost like I talked a while ago about doing the washing and how you have to wash things and you squeeze them out and you cleanse them and then they go through the spin cycle. And this is kind of what we've been going through. We've been trying to wash out the truths, and now they're coming out. You have to know that these truths are being washed out and they're being squeezed out, and we're getting these truths out. So they're actually showing me that we're at the tumble dryer stage now. We're at the tumble dryer. So we don't want to be getting stuck at this stage. So what you want to do is you want to clean those filters off. And it's not literally, but it's just saying that you want to actually start to do the things that can get us to that outcome. So this is about, I've said it before, getting yourself strong, looking after yourself. Like if you picture a tumble dryer and all the clothes are going around, it's removing all the fluff and the old feelings and emotions. This is kind of what it's referring to when we're thinking about the tumble dryer. It takes off the fluff, it dries the clothes, and you pull them out and they're fresh and they're clean and they smell good. And this is the stage that we're at now. We're getting those truths. We're starting to feel stronger. We're starting to feel clean. We've got all the pills and the fluff off us in the tumble dryer, because we've been tumbled around in this dryer, and I don't think anyone out there could deny that we haven't been through the tumbler in the last couple of years, getting tumbled around the washing machine, and now we're finally squeezing out the truth. Sorry about my dogs. They're a little bit pushy. They like a lot of attention. They're a bit high maintenance. And this is what's been happening. We're kind of at the current moment, I would say that we're at the dryer, and we're it's time to kind of clean that filter. And when you clean the filter, it allows all better flow. It allows the clothes to dry better. Well, this is what we're going through. When we clean out those filters and we clear our mind and we clear ourselves of pain and hurts and feelings and let those things go, it allows more things to flow through. So this is a great thing, because it will create better outcomes, and eventually we'll get things out and we'll feel stronger and we'll feel cleaner and we'll feel fresher. And look, I'm going to have to leave you with that today. Just think of that we're moving along the stages of the washing. We're squeezing the truth out. We're getting the dirt out. And now we're feeling stronger. We're feeling fresher, and we're feeling like we're really flowing now, and we're allowing these things to go. And we're allowing, oh my goodness, and we're allowing things and information to come to us, because that's what's actually going on. And don't forget that these movements are pushing the leaders off their course, and that's what we want. We want to push them off their course, so they have to rethink all the time, because their planned agenda hasn't just gone smoothly, and they didn't realize that many people would stand up. And I tell you what, there's more people standing up. My husband came home from work yesterday, and he had 2 people actually came in, and he said, oh my gosh, Chick, he said, people are waking up. He said they're starting to see the truth in this. They don't want the jab, the third jab, like the booster jabs. They're seeing, starting to see through this. People are starting to ask questions, and he had 2 people who completely turned around yesterday and said, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the booster. They can't make me. And someone else had a vaccine injury as well. So look, you got to know these things are coming out. Comment and tell me down below if you've had any of these experiences that you've found out and that people have talked to you about, and let us know. Let us all share who's waking up. Are people waking up? Are people seeing these truths? So look, I really appreciate everybody watching today. I've enjoyed my morning coffee with you all, and my doggos did too. And look, please take care, stay strong. I know this is a battle we've probably got ahead for 2022, but look, we can do this. We got through the last couple of years. They can't throw anything at us that we can't handle now. Hit those like buttons, don't forget that. Subscribe if you haven't, like I said. And thanks heaps for watching. And bye from Australia, and bye from my doggos, Sprocket and Sophie. And we'll see you in that next video. Bye. Say bye, Sprocket.